Let me tell you how to be a brilliant player in World of Tanks. You go into the game and you do more damage than you take. Okay? And the more that difference is between the damage you do and the damage you receive determines how much of a brilliant player you're going to be. The best players do a lot more. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to do that. And it's called trading shots. Hello guys, so Havoc here once again, bringing you another gameplay tutorial for World of Tanks. This week's episode is really important. This week's episode is all about trading shots. You see, you can side scrape, or you can peekaboo, or you can do all these different things that the good players do, but if you don't know how to trade shots, you're going to find yourself at a loss. So trading shots is just like trading money, I suppose. Only you want to give more than you get, whereas if you trade money, you want to receive. Okay, you want to get more than you give. Okay, so there's good investments and there's bad investments in trading shots. Okay, and we're going to look at them. So this video is going to be the basics of trading shots. Okay, so you experienced players out there, you might know some of this, but it'd be worth watching anyway. But you new players, you red and orange and yellow players, this is well worth watching. In actual fact, this is quite possibly one of the most important tutorials I've done so far. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at some scenarios, and we're going to look at a bit of real game action, and then I've got a beaut of a game for you where Martin Masters does a 10 kill game in an IS-3, does tremendous amount of damage, and in that game he shows just how you can trade shots to your advantage and get a good amount of damage and kills down. He also shows a tremendous level of map awareness as well. So I'm really looking to show you that at the end. So stay tuned. Make sure you watch the whole video, guys, because it's a story going from beginning to end, so you get the message. And I guarantee to you, by the end of this, when you go out, if you practice this, you are going to boost your score. I'll see you there. So for the sake of this first scenario, we are looking at two IS-3s. So let's say for this beginning bit, don't take armour into account whatsoever. Okay, just let's pretend tanks don't have armour. All they do is they fire at a certain rate, they fire for a certain amount, okay, and they have a certain amount of hit points. With this in mind, tanks would just go shoot, 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 shoot. There'd be no skill in side scraping, and what would determine the winner would be the one that managed to dodge the other one's shot, or could do the most amount of damage, or had the most amount of hit points and could soak up the most amount of damage. Okay, so this first scenario is just IS-3s. Okay, IS-3s trading shots. So as you can see, nothing out of the ordinary, just firing at one another here. The winner is going to be the one that reloads the fastest, because they both fire at roughly the same. An average of 380 to 400 per shot. Okay, so there we go, just trading shots. Now in a real life scenario this would never happen. Okay, they'll be moving around forwards and backwards, you'll be going up in and out, but I'm just showing you this is trading shots. Okay, 1 for 1, a very close fight. Okay, there will be a winner, but the other one won't have many hit points left. And if you play World of Tanks like this, you're not going to have a very good score. You're going to be a yellow player. So if you trade 1 for 1, you're a yellow player. If you trade less than 1 for 1, you'll be an orange or a red player. So there you go. 1 for 1 trading with the IS-3s. Now this is a bit of a different scenario. This is M103 versus an E100. The difference here is the E100 obviously fires for a lot more, and it also fires slower, and the M103 fires for less but faster. But the E100 has more hit points. Now this E100 would be happy to do this trade, because even though the M103 fires slower, he's hitting for 700 to 800 a shot, so he's laughing. In a real game scenario, the E100 would be angling that armour, and making that M103 bounce all them shots, and who would be larruping ones down. This again is a bad investment for both the tanks. They're just trading shots. The reality is the E100 would angle his armour and probably win. The M103 would lose a lot of damage. But this isn't the way you want to trade shots. This is the wrong way. This is not how you need to do it. This is more how you need to do it. Okay? This is a Borsig, and he would have the support of his clanmates behind him or his team, so this VK-45 can't come round on him. The Borsig can hit for up to 800 a shot. The VK for 300 to 400. So the Borsig can reverse back, he can take a shot, and he can give one. He's just traded 320 damage for 710. And that's a good shot trade. That's 2 to 1. That's more than 2 to 1. The VK can't come round on him because the Borsig's teammates would kill him. So the Borsig can quite wait for his reload and hang back. Once he's reloaded, he can pull out. He can take a shot and he can give a shot. And look, he's killed the VK. Okay, that wouldn't always happen in games. The VK tank player should pull back. But what I'm experiencing more and more in these games is the fact that there are those players out there that will just stand toe to toe and trade shots in an unhealthy investment style. Okay, and the key of this tutorial is when you come across them players, you need to recognise that they don't understand that they need to trade shots, and you need to use that against them, and you need to make them make bad investments, and you need to make good investments. In this clip, we have 2 IS-3s facing 1 IS-3. If the 1 IS-3 on the left pops out, he's going to take 800 damage. If the 2 IS-3s on the right pops out, they'll take 400. This is the healthy trade for them, right up until the point where the second IS-3 here comes up to the hill. Now just say this is a random match. You don't know that IS-3 on your team, and you certainly don't know the ones against you. But you are still going to wait till they've both fired before you pop over. Because before they have both fired, they have the potential to deliver 800 damage to you. Once they've both fired, they have the potential to deliver nothing to you over the next 11 seconds. So it's simple. You wait for them to fire, and then you go and deliver your shot. Right now, the friendly IS-3 is using his armour, and they're not penetrating him that much. He's putting a shot into them and enabling the player at the rear here to go forward and lay his shots down. You'll see by the end of this video clip that the side closest to the screen is the winning side. The only tank that is taking shots is the one that's got his armour perfectly angled. And the tank at the rear, all he has to do is wait till they're fired, and he can safely go forward and shoot. That's trading shots at its best. So here we are actually in a game that I played, and the reason I wanted to use this example is because it isn't actually a great example of me trading shots, yet I still get a 2 to 1. So the 5100 there takes a shot from me and Deadhedge, and he hits neither of us. So we're 2 up. Now I make a miss call on the T-34 here. My T-34 I play can't hit a barn door from 10 paces, so I figured that I could get out, shoot him and pull back before he hit me. But he made the shot and I made the shot. That was 1 to 1. But then Deadhedge has just shot him, which means he fired once and received 2. So that's another good investment on our team. This guy comes round, takes 1 from me and 1 from Deadhedge, and don't deliver any to us. So that's further really good investment for our side. So I'm 1-1 again there, which isn't great. It's okay, but it isn't great. You want to stay away from them 1-1 shots if you can. I was trying to sneak out there and snapshot him again, but it didn't quite work. But still, it's not a great investment. Now Kev, that's that tank, has finally managed to make it up the hill. And we're going to see what else we can do. The enemy team is now heavily damaged. See, Kev took 2. And we delivered 2. But our shots did more hit point damage than their shots. So that wasn't a bad investment there. I deflect a shot here, but take one for 226. And again, that's a 1-for-1, but that tank does less damage to me, so that was a good investment. Because my tank's damage is twice as much, plus it took him out of the game. So we're finishing up now. I've received just over 1,000 damage there. But I dished out, in the end, 2,419. That's good trading. That's more than 2-1. So I took 1,000 and got 2,400. So that's 1,400 up. That's the sort of damage and trading you should be looked at. That's probably high-end blue sort of level play in there. And I wanted to show that batch because it's a really good example of how it's not been done brilliantly, but that standard for new players is something to aim for, okay? You can improve on that. So here we are with the gameplay footage match of this episode. So we're with Martin Masters. He's in his IS-3 and he's moving up to the city where is a pretty common place to go in this map. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch how he trades, and he's going to use his armor, he's going to use positioning. And this is the next step. So we haven't covered using armor and position. Obviously you use armor to try and get shots to deflect. If you can deflect a shot and then hit a shot, you're trading well. If you can peek, make a shot and not take one, you're trading well. So you can see he's used his side scraping angle. He deflected a shot and made one. So that's 1 up for Simon. Not Simon. 1 up for Martin. Decides to capitalise on a VK3601 out of position. Makes a nice bounce from the VK and hits him for one. Using his armour really nicely here by face hugging and then pulling back, causing the VK to miss again. Now this VK's bounced again, but the VK don't really stand a chance here. Now the VK's down and Martin is already 1,300 up on his trading. Now Martin has seen that the other flank has fallen, and rather than hang around here trying to pimp a load of damage, he's decided to act early and he's moved across the map. You can see him making his way across, and as he's doing that, look at the mini-map. You should be doing that. You should be getting into the habit of watching the mini-map. Okay, the mini-map's key, and you can see by all the last spotted locations of the enemy that there's a lot of tanks. There's 3 heavies, a medium, a light and a tank destroyer over here at least. But you know, that doesn't scare Martin, because he plans to use his armour and trade shots well. Now he's been spotted now. He makes his shot on the WZ. Just watch how he manoeuvres his tank to get out of the way of shots, reloads, come up, take a shot, make it count. Dispatches the CDC. So he's 2,000 up now and still not taking any damage. Again, causing the deflection from the Bulldog, but taking one into the side from the E25. Makes the WZ deflect a shot, and he managed to land one himself. Some more good trading. And then finishes him off. So, he's only received just over 500 hit points of damage, but he's put 3,000 down. This is really, really good trading here. This is the sort of game you should be looking at and try to repeat. His movement, his angling, the shots he's taking and when he takes them. So I don't want to spoil the fun, but he's got 3 kills right now. He finishes on 10. Which means he kills all the rest of the people. It's a brilliant match and it's worth seeing. He takes a shot from the IS but finishes him off. If all the games was like this one, it would be brilliant, wouldn't it? So, you know, when you're going through your game, think about this trading shots. If this is a new concept to you, think about how you're going to do it in your games and try to relate that to how you play now. You know, when you're sat behind a rock and you got the turrets looking at you and you poke round to get that shot. If it's a one-on-one, it's not a good trade. As long as you do similar damages, it's acceptable, but it's not a good trade. If you poke round and that tank hits you for 200 and you only hit him for 100, that's a bad trade. But if you poke round that corner and there's more than one tank, there's 2 or 3 tanks around there, that's a seriously horrific trade and shouldn't be done. So what I'm trying to introduce here is a new way of thinking for you new guys. If you think of it like an investment, like money, only the other way round, it might prevent you from YOLOing out there, and it might prevent you from making them bad investments with your hit points. Because that's all it's down to at the end of the day. Because you can side scrape like a pro, but if you're against 2 different tanks that are shooting you from different angles, you can only side scrape against one at any one time. The other one will have an angle on you. So when you present your tank to be shot is key. Your timing is key. If you present yourself out there to take your shot when you know that the enemy's fired, you need to zoom out. Whilst you're reloading, watch who's fired. The moment they fire, you need to make your shot. If you've taken a shot, don't back up. Go and hit them. The amount of new players I see in replays that get sent to me that will they will poke out, they will get hit, then they reverse back. And that's the last thing you should do if they're on the enemy tank's on his own. Because now he's reloaded. Now it's your chance to trade a shot. He's given you one, you must give him one back. At least 1-to-1 is the minimum you're looking for. Okay. The bare minimum. 1-to-1 trading. Unless, of course, your tank fires slow and hits very hard. I.e. a Borsig, the E100, you know, a dirt cannon. But in that scenario, you need to play the battle at your pace. You need to create a scenario where you get the opportunity to reload before your tank is at risk of being shot again. So you players out there that are red and orange and yellow and green, you know, the difference between green and purple is only a few shots in the game. And the difference between making them shots and not making them shots is having the hit points left to be at the end of the game or being alive. So if you trade shots well early game and you trade shots well middle game, you're going to be alive at the end of the game to make them few more shots to make you the better player. And I don't mean hide. People when someone says, yeah, Unicum's hide to the end of the game. No, that's not what I mean. Because you still need to be putting the damage down. But there's a difference between putting a lot of damage down and dying, and putting a lot of damage down and being there at the end of the match to put an extra bit of damage down to make yourself a purple player. And that's what you should be doing. And it starts with trading shots. It starts with making healthy investments in the game with your hit points. Trading little amounts of hit points for large amounts of the enemy's hit points. And if you do that effectively, you'll be a brilliant player. So here we go with the post-game stats. And as you can see, ace tanker game, lots of epic medals, lots of experience. I'll give you a bit of time to read through that. I don't need to read it for you. But Martin Masters, yeah, well played, mate. So we're back to that time of the video where I say goodbye. But before I do that, I'd like to just recap. Trading damage. It's where you dish out shots and you take shots. Name of the game, dish out more than you take. If you can do 2 to 1, you're going to be doing really well. If you can do more than that, you're going to be brilliant. You should be patting yourself on the back and stroke your giraffe. Apart from that, I wish you all the best. Please put this into action and please try really hard to do this. And if you feel that you've benefited from this, please leave a like and a positive comment. It really, really does help the channel. And if you would subscribe to me, I would be eternally grateful. I might even give you some imaginary cookies. So until next time, bye bye for now. So Havoc signing out.